I'm curious for both of y'all, what would you say kind of has been the biggest accomplishment of this year? Like, what do you like? I'm proud of that.
Man,
and hold on. I know we got books if y'all listening in, okay?
Listen.
Books and also because you both launched books this year. And actually today, if you're listening in, did y'all tell me what today is? It's December the 19th.
It's the 19th.
December the 19th of 2023. So this is actually a book in hand day for Josh.
Yes, it is.
So shout out.
Come on.
Talk to us about the book and then tell us about one other accomplishment.
Yeah, so I decided at the top of the year that I was wanting to write a book. I've been talking about it for the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. And for a lot of y'all that don't know my story, a tornado came and hit all my businesses on March the 3rd, 2020. So pretty much wiped me out. But it really just talks about how God prepares you for storms that you don't know is coming. And storms are not always here to like to destroy you, but sometimes they're here to elevate you to a whole nother level. Mm-hmm. So that's what the book is all about. So 2019, like I went to Austin, Texas with the Chamber of Commerce. We was going to all these technology hubs. We was going to places that looked like my co-working space, which is what's called the Lab Nashville. When I went there, it exposed me to the world of technology. And I was just watching how all these people were in there coding, learning how to code, building tech companies, raising millions of dollars. But it was nobody that looked like me. And so I came back home inspired. Now, I do not have a technology background. I do not know how to code. I've never, ever even thought about tech. But like God, I heard God's voice, like, as clear as I'm talking to you, it's like, Josh, I need you to open up a technology school, literally. So when I got back home, I said, man, you know what? I'm going to turn the lab into an innovation hub. And we're going to be teaching coding and doing all these things. Now, I'm just talking the language because I just heard it. And so I connected with my now business partner, Quan Clark, and he had the technology background. And so I always believe in that if you just start moving in the direction you want to go, all the resources that you need will just show up. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we get stuck with looking for the resources, but we're not focused on the plan. If you focus on the plan, all the resources will show up. So we focus on the plan and all the resources that we need came knocked on the door. Mm-hmm. And so going into 2020, we still didn't really have, I ain't never ran a technology school. They looked at me as the dry cleaner man. Like, how you gonna be in the technology space? You the dry cleaning man, so, but people really start to sign up. And so we were signing people up. Our very first day of classes was March the 3rd, 2020. So the very first day of classes was the day that I lost everything. And then 2 weeks later, COVID hit. So if you just think, if I didn't listen to that voice, like God was preparing me by giving me that impartation to say, you need to do something. Because this is coming. You don't know it's coming. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna prepare you for this storm that's gonna elevate you to a whole nother level. And so, the storm hit, COVID hit, we went virtual, and then we was on Roland Martin. And then from Roland Martin, it's been crazy. And so it's just like really having your steps orchestrated by God is just a whole nother level. Yeah. And it just really strengthened my faith to really realize that, listen, man, those voices that you hear to make a move, you don't know why you're hearing those voices and you're scared, you need to make a move because it's preparing you for something that you do not know. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times people they avoid those voices and then they get into a situation. Yeah. And then you're like, yo, man, I had the answer to this. Yeah. But so that's what the book is about. They're available, joshuamundy.com, as well as they're here as well if you want to grab one. And I would say another accomplishment this year was, let me think about that.
Okay, I'll come back to you.
Yeah, come back to me. Let me think about that.
Kirbee, talk to us about Nourish, a guide to coming home to yourself. That was 2023, right? As well.
So it started coming to life in 2022, but 2023 was really kind of the debut of a lot of the dreams and the visions with Nourish. Mm-hmm. And much like Josh, a couple of things. I'll talk about a few different layers with that. brand and that idea that was born out of tragedy. The word nourish is so encouraging when you think about it, but really that word has been important to me for many years. I've loved it, but it became increasingly important in a tragedy in my life where my parents were in a tragic car accident. And it just changed all of our lives. And this year will mark 5 years that happened, but that journey thrust me into a position that you're just never ready for. My mother was paralyzed in that accident, has a traumatic brain injury, and I'm now her primary caregiver. And out of that space, I was keeping all the balls in the air in my corporate career in healthcare at Vanderbilt. I was trying to keep my entrepreneurial life alive and then now take care of both my mom and my stepdad, along with, family help and others, but I was the primary point. And that is where that feeling that I alluded to earlier, where I just felt like, I'm here, but I don't feel like I'm fully here. And on that journey, there was that stark realization that no one outside of you is really going to come to save you. You have many resources and people are geographically close to you and you're in relationship with people. But if you're anything like me, there have been points in your life where it just doesn't land, right? And so that word nourish kept coming back to me. And it was actually on a journey, Brittany and I, when we have time to talk more about it, we were doing 75 Hard together. And during that time, through that discipline, it was that spark, much like what Josh has talked about, and Brittany, you've alluded to this before, where it was like, the time is now. And so I returned to one of my first loves, which was writing. And I allowed myself to we all need to put ourselves in that space where we're willing to be misunderstood outside of the boxes that people see you in to really fulfill your purpose. So I returned to my love of writing and really the things that were helping me feel more like myself again, to be my integrated self so I could show up. And that was cooking and writing and also affirmation. So Nourish, a guide to coming home to yourself, is this compilation of those things. And I wrote it because I needed it. I wrote it because I realized others would need it. And it's just something that can be accessible so that if you feel like, I don't know how to get from here to there, you can pick this up. You can pick a beautiful recipe. You can scan the code and get the playlist. You can go into a meditative journaling practice and really come home to yourself because there's so much intelligence there. So I'm proud of that work. And that work has taken me on a global journey. And there have been some really beautiful things that have happened this year, doors that have opened that wouldn't have otherwise opened if I would have just said, well, what if they don't understand? What if I don't know how to do it? And believe you me, I had all those thoughts. But then you put one foot in front of the other. So I'm really proud of that work. Another area that I would say I'm really proud of is kind of being that multi-hyphenate person, not fitting into any box. And 2023 brought on the addition of real estate into my Nourish ecosystem, because when we talk about nourishing ourselves, that's both emotional, mental, physical, but where you lay your head, where you gather your family, where you gather your friends, and where you make your investment also is a huge part of nourishing. And I've had some beautiful client stories this year, people who have just expressed gratitude that I've been able to help them get from where they were to where they thought they would be maybe in 2-3 years, but we were able to do that this year and really change the financial trajectory for them and their families. So I'm really proud of that. And the willingness to color outside the box, because people are like, wait, is she in healthcare? Is she a chef? Is she a writer?
Does she sell popcorn?
Wait, I've seen her on TV and then I had her popcorn. What is she? Yes. And I just like to say I want to be unapologetically Kirbee and live the width and the length of my life. So I'm really proud of that I've nourished myself and all that multi-hyphenate nature, and that's poured out into the world and returned in some really beautiful ways. So I'm really proud of that.